Today in Cardinal, I'm going to show you how to growl and how to sequence drums in this two-part video. The first part of the video, in part one, I'm going to show you guys how to create the growl because I figured that'd be a more fun thing to do, so I figured I'd start with that. And then in the second video, I'm going to show you how you can use a sampler to quickly load up some one-shot drums so you can have like a backing beat to some of your sound design or whatever you're doing, whatever patch you're making. We're going to start off with how I achieved this growl and some of the different sounds and textures that you can get with it. So I'm going to start off by just letting you listen to the possibilities. I figured that would be good enough for you guys to get a taste of kind of the different sounds that you can get with there. Now there's a lot of stuff going on, so I'm actually going to have this available to download as a project file. So I'm going to just kind of slowly go through everything, and we're going to create this patch again from scratch. Now it might not sound exactly the same, but I'm going to show you guys tons of different stuff that you can do. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to assume that you guys are just kind of starting from scratch. So I'm actually just going to go down here to, so I could quickly reference this because I did a lot of different modulations to a lot of these different parameters. So I might need to scroll up occasionally to look to see what I did on here. So I'm going to go down here and we can start fresh. So to be able to access your MIDI keyboard, right click and go to the tags, and then you can go to go to brands, go to distro, and then here is the Cardinal host. Now you might notice that the thing is red. This means that I favorited it. So to do that, you right click and you go down to favorite. So I just unfavored it. So to do that again, just go to favorite. And by doing this, you can simply go to your favorites. And now all the modules that you like are just right here. So you don't have to scroll through hundreds and hundreds of different things to find the ones that you want. So I highly suggest that you do that as you're going through this process. So I'm going to unfavorite it because you guys are starting from scratch. So we're going to go to brand, go to distro, and select the Cardinal mini host. From there, we need a VCA. So go to brand, go to all brands, and then you can just simply type in VCA. So here's a good one right here. Choose this one. We are going to need that LFO shaper thing. So you can go to, so make sure nothing's selected here. Go to tags, go to envelope generator, and here it is, shape master. So there's this. I will actually want this over here. Here's our shape master. Now we need a wavetable oscillator. So go down here and go to oscillators. There's an oscillator. And then if you scroll down, there's a cool one that says wavetable right here. So select that. It's from Surge XT. So now we have our wavetable here, and from here we want to route this through some filters. So I'm actually going to put the filters down here. So right click and then go to filter, and then if you scroll down, there's a cool visual one right here that says filters by Surge XT. So actually load two of these, and then we want to run that through a distortion. So go to the tags, go to distortion, and then there's a cool one right here, distortion. This is from Surge XT as well. Okay, so now that we have all of this stuff, I believe that we can start routing this stuff. Let me just double check. See here. Okay, distortion, filter, wave shaper. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, so first thing that we want to do is run. Actually, I'm going to move this over here. That might be easier. We want the volts per octave into this of the wavetable. And we want to run the gate into the trigger input of channel 1 of the wave shaper, or whatever, LFO shaper. I'm just going to call it a shaper. And then we're going to take the control voltage from here and we're going to put it into the modulation of 1. So you'll notice that this thing is just starting to go, which is annoying because right here, if you see down here, it says trigger and it's on auto. We don't want that. Click there and go to gate control. So now if we hit our keys on our keyboard, we'll notice that it just re-triggers every time. And this is what we want. From there, we are going to route our oscillator into the first filter. Just put it into the left. Now take the output left of the filter and daisy chain it to the next filter. And then take the out of that, bring it into the distortion. From the distortion, we are going to go to the in of here. Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, no, it goes into the in. Hold on, okay, I'm like, how come it's not working? Okay, we go to left, and we put it into the in. I believe that the, hold on. What goes through here? Oh yeah, the gate of that goes into there. Okay, so we're going to take the gate of this, right click, get a new cable. We could do the same color. And then put it into the in of here. The out is going to be ran straight into our mixer right here. I know you don't have a mixer, so you can simply just use the Cardinal host out. You can just go straight out to there. But in this case, I'm running it through a mixer, which is going to the Cardinal out. To find this is from distro. So to be able to load one of these, right click, make sure you go to all tags, because if you do that and you select the brand, it's only going to be, the stuff's only going to show up that the thing you have selected. So say if the delay selected, once you select the brand, it's only going to show up all the delays. So we want all tags, go to brand, and then go to, what was it, distro? No. Yeah. Where is the Cardinal out? That's the MIDI. Hold on, now I forgot what I was... Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Cardinal Host Audio. Remember, right-click and then favorite it so you can find it very simply by going to your favorites. Now remember, if you want all your favorites to show up, don't select the brands. Select all brands so all your stuff shows up. Otherwise, only the ones that you have selected, the brand you have selected, will show up. So you go to favorites. Now all the stuff's right here, nice and convenient. So if that's what you want to, just go ahead and select the Cardinal so you go out there. So now we have audio. What I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to mute all these and only leave the new patch that I just created available. So we should have sound. Okay, we do have sound. Great. Now, the first thing you need to know right here is the wavetable is made up of many different frames of sound. The whole really thing behind a wavetable, its good use, is to not just select a frame. I mean, you can select just one frame, but that's not really its intended purpose. The most common use, I shouldn't say in intended use. I should say the most common form of a wavetable is to usually scroll through the different frames, and you can do that with this by doing the morph. So watch what happens when we take the modulation on here. So since we have the control voltage going into the modulation port, we can now modulate any of these sources right here in the shape of whatever we put this on. So we can do like a shape like this, have it kind of scroll up like this, and you can take this one and simply bring it down. We can take this and just kind of bring it over there. And then now this shape is controlling the control voltage going into the modulation of the wavetable. But nothing's going to happen now because nothing's modulated. Still the same sound. To modulate, there's the mod 1 that we plugged it into. Click it. Now it's blue. You can see this highlighted. Now everything that we click and drag, it's going to create... Watch what it does. See that thing that it's doing right there? The more that I bring it up, the more it's going to modulate this. Now check this out. This morph is saying, I'm going to start at this frame, the 0 mark frame, and I'm going to modulate going all the way up to here, to this frame, at the speed that I select with the length, and at this shape. Now watch what happens when I switch this to just a long ramp up. See how it modulates different? And we could take the length and we could speed it up by dragging it down, or slowing it down by bringing it up. Double click to reset the parameter to just regular. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a different wavetable. Now this wavetable has a bunch of different ones available. So if you click on it, you can go to any of these ones and select whatever you want. A good one that I found was, if you go to Rhythmatic, go down to Wool Bow. You're starting to get some kind of gritty sounds, but it might sound a little, the sound's a little round, it's a little dark, because we have this filter going on here. I believe that we can switch this by clicking here, and let's go to low pass, and then we're going to select low pass diode ladder for both of them. Low pass, whoops, diode ladder. Okay, so make sure it's at 6 decibels. Now if you don't know what the decibel is, watch what happens when I bring the decibel up from 6. Watch the cutoff slope. This is a nice tame slope, but if I bring it up, there's 12 decibels. 16. Is that 16? Yeah, probably 16. Then 24. See how it's sharper? We don't want that. We want to bring it back down to 6 decibels. So you notice that my growl was a formant-based growl. And that is because formants are made with like resonant peaks, or just frequency peaks. At certain frequencies, vowels are created, and that's what we are going to do here. But before we do this, I want to add some more harmonics by going through the distortion. So click on, there's initial right here, and you can just scroll through all the different settings. Same here if you want to, and even on the wavetable, you can just click over and just try different sounds that you like and find which ones that you like. So we want to click here and then go to overdrive, and we want to bring the overdrive up. See how much more harmonics and grittier the sound just got? You could actually take the post EQ and you can bring it down or up to make it to adjust basic. It's almost acting as a filter. See how it's, this is just pure low pass. But once again, this is definitely affecting what this is doing. So leave the frequency at about 2700, something like that. So what we're going to do is, I want one of these filters to go up, to modulate up, and I want the other one to modulate down. So to create this, once again, let's actually bring this to what we had right here. Bring it to about right here. That's fine. And then maybe speed it up just a tiny bit. That's good. Right click, get new cable, bring it down to the modulation of here. And we also want to run a second cable to the modulation of the second filter. Now, once again, you have to click on the modulation to be able to add it. If you don't have this, all this does is just affect where the frequency is at. It doesn't make it move. Basically, we want to use this control voltage at this shape to control the movement of this filter. So the first one I'm going to put to 6600, around there. And this one's going to be at, I don't know, 330, maybe 230. Let's just try it here. So basically, I want this one to move down, and I want this to move up. So to do this, let's do the down one first. Click on the modulation. Now it's blue. Now we can take this, and to make it go down, we click and we drag it down. See how we get in this, the blue there? Let's see how much this brings it down. Okay, fine. Let's just leave it there. Second one, turn the modulation on, and we're going to click and then drag it up, because that's going to make it move up. If we clicked and did it down, it would be modulating down, but we want it up. So let's click, bring it up. You can start it just trying to start making some actual kind of vowels, but we're getting that real harsh, screechy sound, and I think that's because we have too much res. So remember, don't click on this and with this highlighted unless you want to modulate. If you just want to move the position of the resonance, make sure that you have these off so you can just adjust it. Let's turn this down a bit. Before we start messing with this more, I actually want to kind of tame this wavetable a bit. It's modulating a bit too much. So remember, the mod is selected. We can just take this off. That sounds okay. We can actually modulate the pitch as well. So I want the pitch to kind of go from a higher to lower. So undo this so you can bring the pitch up. See, you could choose what sound you want it to start with. Let's just try that. Now we can select the modulation, click and drag it down. Okay, now it's giving kind of a wow sound. Now we want to adjust the formant on here. So unclick the mod, and we're going to move the formant up. And this almost acts as if like it's a high pass filter. The higher you go, the less of the lower frequencies it lets in. See, and now it's just like strictly high pass. We could add saturation if you want. You can actually do unison right here. There's unison voices. You can turn it up, but I don't recommend it for that. Makes it just distorted and gross. So just bring it down to 1. And if you want to change the octaves, click and drag on the 0. And then now it's up an octave. But we're going to leave it at 0. You leave the unison at 1. A little bit of saturation is fine. And you can play with the formant. Get a nice sound that you like. I'm going to actually load up a custom wavetable next. To be able to do this, you click on it, you go to load wavetable file. So I'm going to locate mine under my Serum presets. Now I'm going to have this one Growl wavetable available in the description so you can download, so you guys can get exactly what I'm using. So I'm going to load up Grimace. Now let's hear the difference. We're starting to actually get more of kind of a word what's going on. So let's move the morph up. This is at 6600. This is at 2000 or 230. 66 230. But what's the modulation at? 214. 312. Let's move this to 214 and then move this one to 312. Okay, and this was at 6600. Okay, this was at 230. There we go. Now we're starting to get it. There we go. See, it's hard to really, it's got to be so specific to be able to get these. So with here, we can actually run it into, you can just play around with. Let's just leave it here. I'm just going to show you a couple different things that you can do. You can right click, unclick favorites, go to tags. You can go to like a flanger if you want. This is a good one. Run it through, go to in, and just go to run it to the left of here and then left to the out. A good one is a fast. Another one is you can do a phaser. There it is. Phaser. Choose this one. Unplug this. Run it to the left of this. No. We don't want that. We just want this to go straight into the phaser. Go out to the in. And then if you like that sound, you can also use like a equalizer right here. And this is a good visual one, EQ Master. So let's run it through here. So go to 1 to 8 input, and then go to 1 to 8 output and put it back into your VCA. Now you can control the frequencies. So what I did was I just went to 2, and this bring up the gain a little bit so you can see what's going on. So the middle one is the decibels. The first one is the frequency you want. So if you want it kind of going up here, see, you can see that there's movement right here. And then you can take the Q and drop it down, and it's all about what you kind of want to. You can do like a low cut if you want. Go to this first one. I would drop the middle part down all the way. And to do this little cut, you have to have the Q at well, I guess you could just kind of mess with it right there, however you want. Then you can bring it and just do whatever cutoff you want. You could even do it with the highs too. Let's do the same thing that we did with this. Drop the gain down, and now you pretty much have like a kind of a bandpass filter. So I think this is enough for you guys to start kind of playing around with. Like I said, I'm going to have this entire project available to download. So if you like the first sounds that it was making, I can, you guys can just download the project. It'll be a Cardinal file, Cardinal patch file. Even though I'm using Reason, it'll be a Cardinal thing. So you guys can just load it up. And just in case if this wavetable doesn't come with the project, I'm going to have this available for you guys to just download that. So in part 2 of this video, I'm going to show you guys how to create just a quick drum pattern, and it's using a sampler where you just load up one-shots in it. And in this case, you notice how it's going to different patterns randomly. I'm using a sample and hold to be able to do this into the memory slot thing, and it's run by this clock going into this mixer, which I got some panning going on with the hi-hats with the LFO going back and forth, and the sample and hold's being controlled by this other LFO. I'm going to go through all the parameters, what the stuff means, some of the stuff like ratchet and probability and stuff like that you might not be familiar with on there, but I'm going to go through all the different buttons and dials and stuff like this. And this is actually pretty easy. So even though everything, if you look at it, it's kind of intimidating at first. You're like, oh, there's a lot of stuff plugged in. If you just break things down one by one on what the actual tools are doing, it's actually not that hard, just in case if you're just beginning. So anyways, I'll see you in part 2.
Let's play.
They change the password every couple of weeks, but I know where they write it down.